Hello again, beautiful people. You guys know how we like to kick it off. In order to take accountability, but for what has passed and what will be, there's no time like presently. So, for all of those with mouths and ears, can we have a moment of your time? We want to gain some perspective. Can we have a piece of your mind? What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey, Frankie.
What up?
Hey, man.
Hector.
We're here. We made it to June. What were we in June?
Might as well be January. It is
For
our
real,
new
man.
year.
Yeah, man. But we here. We made it to June, man. We in a new month. May was a month.
It was a month.
Yeah, there was a lot going on for all of us as individuals here on the podcast. You know, things have been picking up for me elsewhere. My handyman business. I started doing a little bit of Uber and Lyft. I'm still enjoying that. And you know, I'm just trying to keep. I'm trying to make money moves right now, personally. You know what I mean? That's what I've really been like pouring my time into. I've been dedicated to getting up at 3, 4 in the morning. You know, nobody's telling me to do that. I'm just doing it every morning, and just about every morning. I do love freelancing though. I do love being an entrepreneur because, like, yo, when mornings come, I don't have any clients that hit me up. I have one client that hit me up 3, 4 in the morning. I'm 4 in the morning to go to work, 4:30. But when he don't hit me up, and if I don't feel like going out, I don't go out. But for the whole month of May, for the most part, I aim for 7 days, and I've been doing it at least 5. You know, so
I like that.
Yeah,
it's something about routine, man, that just make you feel like you got some purpose. You know, routine really helps keep you focused and just kind of moving and shit, man. And so, you know, dedicating yourself to wake up at that hour and make that move, bro. That's what's up. Because I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning, you know, doing what I do, and most of that is for the sake of work-life balance. You know, I don't like being at work all damn day. And it helps to be able to kind of manage my stress and have some time for me and, you know, give some time to my family and still just be present in all of my activities, man. So I appreciate some routine, Frank, and I like that you're doing that, bro.
Yeah. So wait, so what time do you actually start work? So you get up early just to be able to give yourself some time?
No, my office hours where I'm at, we are open from 10 to 4 to the public, but typically 9 to 5. But for me to do my best work, I show up at 6. So I give myself about 3 hours before anybody comes in so I could really just, you know, get to work. And so I get in at 6 and I work straight through all my breaks. And so I'm out of there at 2. And as soon as 2 comes around, man, I'm out, you know, I'm gone. Cause like I said, that work-life balance is important. And,
okay. So you don't stay until the end of the shift. You go in early so you can get out early.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And then, yeah, you know, Kate usually she likes bed, man. She likes sleeping, so she don't get up out of the bed as soon as I do. But she'll get into work about 8 o'clock, 8:30 or something, and you know, that typically means she's out of work about 5 or so. And so from 2 to 5, that's time for me to do whatever, you know, laundry, grooming. If I want to exercise, if I want to play my video game, or whatever the hell I want to do, if I got 3 hours to do it entirely uninterrupted. And I've gotten used to that, man. I consider that my self-care time, because when she comes home, I want to give her attention and stuff like that, you know, and I want to chill with her and do those kinds of things. Yeah, so I feel like, you know what, if I could start my day early and do that, I'm gonna do that. Like that, it feels nice to me, you know what I'm saying? And my body's accustomed to it. Like I can get up. Usually I wake up a couple minutes before the damn alarm goes off and I'm like, please don't be 5, please don't be 5. And it's like 4:57. I'm like, fuck.
Yo, y'all want to hear some weird stuff, man? I swear these birds outside is my alarm clock.
Hey.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just the birds around us or what, but they start chirping at like 3:30. Like, no lie. Yo, it be dead dark outside still. And the birds be chirping. They be chirping like it's daytime. Like,
damn.
I'm like, yo, who pulled the blanket off the world, man? What's going on with these birds?
Right. Yeah, I used to wake up to the birds chirping, the sun crack, coming through the blinds and shit, just barely. Like that's how I used to like to wake up. Is just that natural. But if I let myself wake up naturally, I'm not waking up until about 6:30.
Yeah,
and it's like that hour and a half is precious to me, man. So I'm gonna get my ass up with an alarm. Fuck it.
Yeah. How about you, B man? You got any routines that help you stay rolling and going?
Yeah. Well, first, let me say that's actually pretty dope, Hector. That you have the flexibility to be able to, start early and end early.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like I like things like that, or you got that kind of flexibility.
Yep.
But yeah, usually I'm up by like 5:30. Sometimes I might just like kind of give myself like a half hour to like wake up or whatever, and then I do a morning workout. Usually I like to do like a workout before I actually have to start prepping for the day, so not to get my son's stuff together, get him ready for school, so pack his lunch, pick out his clothes, things like that, and I prepare my lunch and dinner like for work, because usually I just eat dinner at work, because by the time I get out it's like 7 or so, and I want to have my last meal before 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually prepare my lunch and my dinner. But yeah, after I do my workout, get the stuff together, then I'll take him to school. Usually there's a little more time between then and work, so I'll go to the gym, because I have a gym across the hall from work. I might get in another workout where I might just sit in the sauna and I'll just chill and think and breathe. I love the sauna time. I don't know why. Usually I'm only in there for like 15, 20 minutes. And I just I sit in there and I take deep breaths, reflect, hit the shower, then I start my work. And most days I do a full shift, so like I start at 11, get out at 7 o'clock. Somewhere in the middle of the day, I'll go pick up Keyshawn from school, and bring him back with me. He'll close out the day with me, and then we'll go home and do our little nighttime routines.
Yeah, Brian's been real good with the this. Another thing that ties into his routine is Brian he's been real good with like getting to the kitchen. I don't know what's his order, but there'll be a day where he'll be in the kitchen all day, or for a time, and he'll be cooking his meal for the week. You know what I'm saying? And then the way I see it, when I be seeing Brian moving is he gets up, he'll do his morning workout, right? He'll pack his food for work, when he's at work. And, now I just had my last meal up here, with you guys. Brian had his last meal before he even got on here. He started doing the intermittent fasting as well. He's back on the intermittent fasting now. So, like, Brian has a lot of routines, and there's a lot of ways. Like, it's like you start one. If you start your day off a certain way, it's just like, all right, boom, next. You know what I'm saying? It's just continuous, bro. May, Brian, I think it was May, the beginning of May. I put the Nintendo Switch up. I put it up, bro. I think it was probably before May. It was probably in April somewhere. But I put the Nintendo Switch up, bro. And although I used to just use it to like decompress sometimes when I came off work, but I know like sometimes when I get on, I'll be stuck. I'll be saying I'm gonna get on for a half an hour, and next thing I know, 3 hours pass. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I've been experimenting with that, and I completely put it up, and I have found that I am a little more productive. Again, I'm getting out the door every day, 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? I'm not feeling like you know what? Let me share my routine. Let me share a spoken affirmation that kind of fits my new routine. Right? I wrote an affirmation a little while ago, man. It goes, when I'm being my best self at 6 a.m. Man, I done drank tea, meditated, worked out, and finished my one thing by 10 a.m. Damn, I am. I mean, when I am being my best self, my energy is felt. Man, I done went out and helped. I brought someone else comfort with tools or with words the way that I serve. When I'm being my best self, before I go to bed, man, I done meal prep, reflect, plan for next day before I lay, and close my eyes and smile, because today was a good day. So that's what my May really been feeling like. When I'm on my best days, man, being my best self. I've been the meditation is I'm missing, the tea is missing in the morning, but I've been getting up. You know what I mean? I've been going out from like 4:30 to like 9. I get back home, or I go to the park. I do a workout at the park or at home from like 9 to 10. And then I hit the road again. If I got handyman work, I go handle those appointments. If not, sometimes I'll turn the app right back on, Uber or Lyft, and go make some more money, man. That's been the routine. I come home and then I think about my day for tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's been the routine, bro. So
I feel you.
Yeah.
I go about it in a different way, bro. Like you just said, you think about your day coming. You know, you think about like your next day. And lately, this isn't how it's always been, but lately I have not really given a shit about tomorrow. You know, I've been really focusing on what's here right now. That came through a hard lesson. But right here, right now is my bad.
You
I'm,
go
I'm
ahead, man.
still
Take your
working
time,
through
bro.
it. I'm still working through it.
Yeah, take your time, bro. Take your time, man. Take all the time you need, man.
And breathing. Been working on breathing. That's a big one.
Yeah?
Yeah, just not letting myself feel too clogged, you know, like the things that hurt, you know, let them get some air, you know, let that pain in my chest or that lump in my throat, you know, breathing helps push that down so I can kind of digest it in a healthy way, you know. And so I've been practicing breathing lately too. Not again, not just because I wanted to, but because you know, I had something happen to me that really, really made me realize like this shit is precious, man. All of it. You know, you guys know. And everybody in my circle knows, man. Oh shit. My grandpa, man, he passed away this past Sunday, June 2nd. And parts of me are shattered inside right now. Fucking broken. Because that was my father, you know. My real father abandoned early on. He just had other things he needed to do. So my granddad, he stepped up, and that was the man, you know, that raised me, taught me everything, indirectly or directly, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And it hurts, man, because like, you know, I didn't get a chance to go out to Connecticut or Florida too often, you know, when they were in Connecticut. I got to go to Connecticut once every 4 years or something like that. I just couldn't afford it. It wasn't in my budget. And I always feared that, you know, this might be the last time because I don't know when I'm going to be able to come back out. I didn't have a crystal ball. And that shit always weighed really heavy on my soul, man, in my mind. And then when I'd see him and my grandma and, you know, the family again, I'd feel really good. I'd be in the moment and I would cherish it and I would love it. We'd always eat and talk and just have a good time. And then when it was time to say goodbye and go back home, that feeling overcame me again. And every single time since then. So a couple weeks now, I got a call from one of my aunts. And she was saying, you know, hey, you need to come down. It's not looking too good. So I panicked and I'm like, oh my God, like shit, okay, well, I bought an airline ticket and my airline ticket is for a week out from when she called me. And then speaking with my dad and everything, and my dad was just like, hey, no, come down now. And so I switched my airline ticket and got out there as soon as possible. I got out there before the end of May, like a few days before the end of May. And ended up spending about a week down there in Florida and getting to spend time with my grandparents, my mom, my dad, bunch of relatives and friends that, we've had over the years. And yeah, man, I had an intimate dance with death because I've seen death before. I've had friends that have passed away. I've had relatives passed away. I've seen death that I shouldn't have. Other people that weren't related to me, I watched them pass, and I'm no stranger to it, but I have never been this intimate with it. I've never been this close, and that shit shook me because I watched the world's strongest man
If you don't mind, Heck, man, let me take a moment to take over here. I know Hector always comes on usually when he's sharing the podcast and talking about his family. He talks about a blended family. Let me tell you about one of the first blended families, okay? Because this man that Hector's talking about, Jose, this man was like, I know Hector said that was like his father, but I don't know if I ever told you this, Hector, but he was like our grandfather, bro. He was our example of a grandfather. He was our Spanish grandfather, bro. We have one in St. Thomas, to this day, and we had one that was gone since we were young. Our grandfather from St. Thomas, I feel like I talk to him more now than I used to when I was a kid, for real. And so the only person we had as like as an example of a grandfather was Hector's grandfather, the strong man, the strongest man in the world. He talking about. He was a sturdy man, you know what I'm saying? And getting to grow up and watch him and learn through just watching him, like his actions. He was a man of action. His actions spoke. You know what I mean? He spoke some English. He spoke pretty good English, actually, but he still had the strong, heavy accent. And it wasn't much he told us. I feel like I learned from your grandfather was watching him, man. Watching him, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to talk about consistency, if you want to talk about a man that's living in his truth, I can tell you, no matter what day you came around, Jose was either working on a car with his wife and his family, like and when it's time to go grocery shopping, he out there with his wife grocery shopping. Like, he was a very consistent figure in my life, man. He was like the perfect grandfather, bro. He was like the perfect example of a grandfather, man. Like, he used to pour into us, bro. He used to invite us. Hector, I'll pop up at your house. You really come in. You know what I mean? Feed me and everything, man. So yeah, he was listen. We talk about impact. We said this year is going to be our year for impact, man. You want to talk about impact through actions, through consistency, then you're talking about Jose. That's who you're talking about. You know what I mean? He was an impact to me through actions alone. Consistent action. You know what I'm saying? And he will always be loved and viewed by me as my first like one of my grandfathers, my Spanish grandfather. And you know what I mean? I'm gonna always cherish those things. I'm gonna cherish. I hope to be a great grandfather one day. Not a great grandfather. Wow, I'd be a great grandfather too. But you get a fantastic grandfather. You know what I'm saying? One day, you know what I mean? And not that I want to be babysitting all the time, but I look to take my grandkids under my wings because you know what? I'm gonna give them more of this than their fathers could. You know why? Because I'm gonna have more experience. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Yep. You know what I mean? So I look forward to it, and I really thank God that I got to meet Jose in this lifetime, man. This life, heck, you know where we come from, bro. You live right next to the project, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know you've seen crazy things. There was a bunch of crazy things, different influences around us. It was, it was all kinds of crazy influences around us, man. But one of the only consistent good, energies I got to see all the time, and it didn't switch, was Jose, man. And I will always forever be grateful for that, for this whole lifetime. My whole lifetime, man.
Oh yeah.
Same. Anytime we came around, he never made us feel like we were unwelcome. He was happy to see us. It was a great feeling. It's like Frankie said. One of our grandfathers is overseas. We rarely get to see him, and the other grandfather, I barely remember him. He passed when we were little. So, he was a great example of what a grandfather is, what a grandfather should be. We got to see him, the way he interacted with you and with your grandmother, and the way that he provided, and just he was like a strong figure in the household. That's something that will stick with me, forever. I mean, he didn't have to welcome us into his home, It's just these two random kids hanging out with his grandson. He made sure we were good, like we were taken care of. So that's something that I will forever be grateful
for. That's one of the things that I really respect and appreciated most about my grandpa, man, is that he would put his trust in you. And so anybody I brought around the house, he trusted my judgment. He trusted that, if my grandson trusts these guys, then so do I. Because he was there from the beginning. He taught me everything I knew. And so everything that I knew was from him. So he could trust what he put into me, to look for people, to think about, what to observe and how to move. And so he always treated my friends with respect. He always allowed you guys to come around. He always let me go out with you guys. Same thing with Dion. Same thing with Rodney. Same thing with Manny and Sammy. Like when anybody came around that I let in the house, he respected that. He wanted me to have that community. And, that's something I look back on now, and I realize, like, man, he was really about that life, because everybody knew him. Everybody. I mean, the maintenance man, the building, the building serviceman, the superintendent, people on staff, anybody on any random floor knew who Jose was. They'd call him the Godfather. You know what I'm saying? He had that energy where people loved and respected. When he came down the hallway, you got to go walk to him and shake his hand, kind of shit, man. He was that figure where we were. And it was cool because it did provide some sort of veil, some sort of umbrella for me, where they're like, oh, that's Jose's kid. That's Jose's grandkid. Take care of that kid, kind of thing. And so I felt like I could walk around and be safe in that area, in an area that really wasn't that safe, but he made it, so that I could feel like there's nothing that could hurt me, because he had projected such a powerful light, man, that shit was everywhere I went, and he, like I said, the strongest man, if I was at school and I had a practice or something, he'd pick me up. If I was lost in the middle of somewhere downtown because I took the wrong bus, he'd come pick me up. Like he would take care of me. He really was out there making sure I got to have an experience. I got to have a life, and like you said, Frank, he wasn't a man of many words. He said what he needed to if something needed to be said. But otherwise, it was all action. And so that's where I really learned to observe and watch people, because that's the truth you want to be paying attention to.
Another thing I really loved about your grandfather, Hector, like you just said, man, when he spoke, he spoke for a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I remember one time, you and him, you guys had like a really bad disagreement because you had a girlfriend. right? And she was of a different nationality. You know what I'm saying? And he was very pro, like, stick with your own.
Yeah.
And he voiced that to you, and he did that in front of us. And when he did that, it didn't even faze me, like at all. Like I took it in. It was something I would never forget, but it was also something I really respected. Like he voiced how he felt. Like, did you have to listen? No, you didn't have to listen to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's how he felt. You know what I mean? And he voiced how he felt, like he voiced it. I really respected that about him. Like, you know what I mean? Made me love him even more at the moment. I think we was like freaking 16, 17.
Yeah, we was young. Yeah. We was young.
Hey. You know, that was definitely a day. That was one of the days that stuck out to me, man. He left an impact that day.
It sticks out to me too, in a little bit of a different way, because that was the first time I felt like he had ever he didn't really question my intent, but he definitely made me ponder it. And, you know, that made me really start thinking about the world as a whole a little differently. And, you know, because he's old school. He's very old school, you know. But one of the greatest things I've gotten to see this man do was change. Because even though he was, you know, hey, when I was young, yeah, stick to your own. As I got older, man, he realized, like fuck all that. Like, his only question ever was, are you happy? I was like, oh shit, you know what? Am I happy? And like that, watching that man change, man, was everything. Cause again, that was my father. You know, of the 18 years I spent in Connecticut, hell, I spent 15 years living in their home, you know, with him every day, picking me up or making sure he's watching over me or making sure I was fed or teaching me something through observation. Like, every day it was him. That was the man in my life, you know? And so, yeah, what he said mattered, man. I had to listen to it. Whether I agreed with it or disagreed with it, I wanted to hear him fully, you know, no matter what it was. And seeing him change and grow over the years was probably the most beautiful thing, man. Because, you know, you see some of these, you know, the older folk, man, and they're content with who they are. They don't want to change. They don't care to change, you know?
Yeah,
but
they're pretty. They could be pretty close-minded to change.
Yeah,
they could be pretty close-minded to anything that's new that they don't understand. And you know what's funny? I don't even know if that's just an old thing. It really starts with us when we're in our 30s and in our early 20s. We find a way that works for us, an excuse that works for us,
and run with it.
And just run with it, and then we just continue that way. You know what I'm saying? To the point where we get to a certain age, and like, it don't even make sense to call them closed-minded, because like, closed-minded, like, what's an open mind? What the, like, you know what I mean? I've been living my life this long, this way. I'm still here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I
that was the
that
thing,
too,
man. Like, seeing him at one point in his life be closed-minded, but then him change over the years, seeing how I interacted, seeing that, you know, my mom, she found true love through my dad Owen, and like he started to realize, like, man, yo, none of that matters as long as you're happy. And that was beautiful to see that, man, because then that, you know, that's who I am now as an adult, man. I am certainly a byproduct of Jose Gonzalez, man. Like, everything that was good in him, I am, you know. And I even started to think, like, damn, even on the physical level, man, like, you know, like when I was there and I was holding his hand for the last time, like, I realized, like, holy shit, this guy's got big ass strong hands. And I realized, like, shit, I got a big ass hand. I get my hands from him, you know. I got giant fucking hands from that man. It passed down. like, and that kind of shit is cool, man. Like, I started looking for all the little details, all the little things, man. And I have all my best qualities from him, for sure.
You know what, Heck, man? I think you should pay attention to those. I think you should continue to pay attention to those things with intention, because you know what? It wasn't that long ago. Matter of fact, it was a few years ago when we lost our Uncle Hambi. That was probably like, you remember, baby. That was probably like the closest death to me, like, as far as family members go, bro. And like, though Uncle Fabi is gone, though his energy is not, his physical body's not it's not here anymore. I remember his energy. I remember his energy well. You know what I'm saying? And the things I love, my uncle had a lot of ways that wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? But he had a lot of ways that was right, and that's what I choose to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? And then not only hold on to it, Hector, I try to like redo that in my own way. You know what I mean? This Frankie version of Fabian. You know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Fabi wouldn't leave. Uncle Fabi be pissy drunk in a bad way, or he could be good. But it don't matter which way he was. He gonna tell you he love you before you leave. You know what I'm saying? He gonna tell you he love you on arrival. You know what I mean? That's the one thing he don't forget. You know what I'm saying? So
I love that, man. Love that. Yeah, it's like I said, this, death is no stranger to me, but this intimate one it certainly is. I had to do things that were hard at the end. I had to help out in ways that were just really hard. But I don't regret it, man. I actually really appreciate getting to be that close, because I realized that at my grandpa's very end, he trusted me. Like there were some things he trusted me to do wholeheartedly, and that made me feel good, because like I said, he taught me everything. And so knowing that as a grown-ass man now, like, he still sees me capable, credible, trustworthy, and honest, like, that felt good. That felt real good. Yeah.
Bro, listen, I know one thing I do know is, like, my day is gonna come one day, right? And when it comes to my boys, when it comes to the ones I'm raising, like, the only thing I want to be good with, like, if I die tomorrow, like, I want to know that I installed everything into them that's gonna keep them going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even the fact that, how can I put it? For me, this is how it is for me. I want them to get over it. Like, at some point, like, be happy. I want it to be just like how you just told me your grandfather wanted to have his thing. Like, celebrate me.
Yeah.
Celebrate me and move on. Like, that's what's gonna be for me. Like, I'm gonna tell my boys. I don't know how well they're gonna do with it, but that's all I want to tell. Celebrate me and move on. And I just want to make sure that you guys know what it is, what a hard day's work is. You guys been out to work with me, so y'all know how to do that. You know what I mean? You guys know how to fill out job applications. I've been through that with y'all. You guys know how to drive. I've been through that with you guys. You know what I'm saying? You guys know how to cook your own dinner. You guys know how to make it happen. Save your own money. Like, honestly, if I die today, I'm pretty convinced my boys would be okay. You know what I'm saying? And that knowing that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Do I want to put more on the table for them before I go? Hell yeah. But that's why it's important to pour into them every day. You know what I mean? Because we're not promised tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? None of us. It could be age, or it could be a car accident. You know what I'm saying? But none of us are promised tomorrow. So it's like, one of the things me and Dylan been battling with all May is him on the game. I told him a certain time to get off. I told him, I forget, it was a few things, but long story short, he wasn't listening, bro. I pulled the plug on the internet. I took the router out the wall one day. Like, I'm not playing with him no more, bro. You 17, like, and it's not that he's a bad kid. It's not that he's a hard kid, but he's a kid that is really I allowed him to create a habit of gaming too much. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like he gets lost in it. So, you know what I mean?
We all have to suffer that day.
Yeah. We're playing with him home most of the day, man. Don't listen to him.
I was at work, like,
hey, man, like, I'm ready to do this.
Half an hour, man. I was home like a half an hour out there. Don't listen to this guy, man.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I saw this meme. Yeah, I saw it was actually today. I saw this meme earlier today that kind of felt really cool, man. It humbled me a little bit because it made me kind of look back on my own. But it was a little kid, right? And the little kid got introduced to video games, and he like was in love with them. Like, oh my god, let's try this out. And then there's like the next slide, and he's a teenager, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, "Let's keep going," and like he's playing with a buddy. And then it shows a young adult, and the adult's like, "All right, I'm gonna try to get a game in today." And then it shows another one, and he's like a doctor, and he's like, "All right, let's do 30 minutes of gaming." And it's like, that's cool, man. Like you as a young one, you're kind of, you do become obsessive with it for sure. And I know I was, we all were. Shit, I can't tell you guys how many times we playing Digimon, playing Samurai and Dynasty Warriors and all the different games. Yo, we was up all night playing Power Stone. You remember Power Stone, yo? Oh my god!
I'm going further back and go back to 64, man. Mario Kart, 007 GoldenEye, bro.
All the Mario parties, all of it, dude. We was in it. We was in it deep. But as we grew up,
sleepovers.
Yo, new game release. Let's go.
Bro, yo,
that shit was the best, man.
Hey, you know what?
We turned out,
That meme you just seen, that might have been the story of Dion's life.
Hey, see?
Listen,
bro. Like, yo, I feel like it applies to all of us because, yo, we all played it well. We did it all. And then look at us now. We are very productive adults. We are mindful. We have goals. We are pouring into our children. We are taking care of responsibility. And it's tough because as a parent, like, yeah, I don't want my kid to waste away on that shit. But like just this morning, Aiden went to bed early last night. So he was up at like 5:30 this morning when I was getting ready. And he was telling me about this game he's playing, and he was telling me all the details, and I watched him light up. Like he got excited to share that with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm not gonna steal that from him, man, because I remember that. And the worst thing was, not the worst thing. The harder part of it was that I really didn't have an adult figure to share that with. I had you guys. I had my friend. Yeah. But I didn't have an adult who gave a shit about what I was playing. Nobody gave like, get out of here. What are you talking about? Like, you speak in a different language, kid. Get away. So when he speaks to me, I understand that language. And so I'm like, oh, shit. And then I called him today on my way from home, and I was just like, hey, babe, I'm on my way home. Unlock the door. Can you make sure that the dishes? And he's like, yeah, I could do that. And then he started talking to me about the game again. And I'm like, okay, he's like really into it and excited to share it. Yeah. He knows that I'll receive it. So I'm like, I'm not going to steal that from him, man.
What game summer is this, vacation. Man?
So he's playing this mod on Minecraft. He loves Minecraft.
Okay,
it's a mod. Yeah, and this mod like goes deep with like all this magic shit and like there's all just sorts of like cool magic stuff in this mod that you can't do in regular Minecraft, and it's kind of dope. I watched him play it for a little bit. And he's on there with one of his best friends, and they're playing that shit all like. So he's got a trio. There's 3 of them, like 3 of his best buddies, and they're playing that shit together. And it's like, okay, it's the same thing with us, except they're just doing it online,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's
definitely
cool,
better
man.
in person, in my opinion, man.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Oh, yeah.
You do that shit too.
Can't share popcorn online.
Not right. I like knowing that times change, and yeah, you can still do the LAN party. You still can't get over and do a sleepover and shit, but you can stay connected even when you're at home now, which is not something we had.
That is dope.
And I love that because, again, the same thing with my grandfather. He trusted my friends. He knew who they were. I trust Aiden's friends. I've met them. I've fed them. Sleepovers. Yes, absolutely. These are good kids, man. I hear them talk to each other. I hear how they banter and how they joke. When someone's down, they really lift each other up. This is his fucking crew. One day he's going to be just like us, man. 3 fucking dudes, 3 grown-ass men that still can trust each other, confide in each other.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let that happen, bro. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You know what? The game is just one stage of it. And, yeah. Well, now, I get what you're saying, though, Frank. When he's 17, it's like, bro, you got try to do some other stuff, too, man. But
try to ease up a little bit, yeah.
Like,
that's just me being just being a watchful eye, man. I gotta be the watchful eye.
You gotta be that. You gotta be that, man. Because if you don't, who will? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta take care of it.
Real quick, guys. If you're enjoying the conversation, Piece of Your Mind podcast. Piece of Your Mind podcast. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. we're trying to be everywhere. Where your eyes are, where your ears are. We're trying to gain some perspective. If you guys are enjoying this podcast, chime in, leave something in the comments below. This is a deep one, man. Death is a deep one, and you know
life
we're sharing.
death,
so,
man.
huh?
Life and death.
Life and death is a deep one, and we're sharing. So you know what? Share. You know what I mean? You'll get stronger. Trust me.
Yeah, one of my buddies in our group chat. I don't know what he's going through, but he's going through something. And Jarrett, you met him. He came through the through the Thankful Thursdays and shit. He was in there for a little bit with us. And he says something, man, and that was cool, man, because he was just like, yo, whatever you're going through, if it's, something violent, something sad, addiction or stress or this or that, depression, like he was just throwing a whole bunch of heavy shit. He was like, if any one of those things is something you're dealing with, anyone in this group has dealt with it. So you can open up to us. And I was like, oh shit, man, like that's, like, I know it to be true, but when someone said it out loud, man, it's like, fuck yeah, bro. That's what family is, right?
Word. Jared only came through like 3 or 4 times, I remember. And I remember telling him, like, bro, you gotta.
He left an impression.
Yeah, you can talk and, like, you know what I mean? Engage, you can really engage somebody, bro. He should be up here, man. Where he at? God damn it.
Yeah, I love that man, bro. That's one of my dudes, man. I love that guy. He's just so genuine, man. He's been through shit himself, and he's just humble, man. He's got a big fucking heart, dude, and I love that shit.
Yeah,
and, it's just cool, man. Because like, damn, like I'm connected to him, and then I'm connected to you guys. You guys got big hearts, and you guys are my best friends. And it's like, I looked at my circle, like, since my grandpa passed, I really analyzed my circle. And I'm like, yo, I am fucking blessed, man. I am lucky that I've got good friends and family around me, people that give a shit, people that are patient, people that are honest. Like, yo, love your peoples, man, and tell them that shit. Just like Fabian did, man. Yo, come through the door, I love you. When you go back out, I love you. Say that shit and do it proud. Make sure they hear you too, man. Because, like, ooh, this recent engagement I had, man, recently just made me appreciate a lot of shit, made me appreciate my mom and my grandma, made me appreciate my family that stuck it through, that, even through the hardest shit, they still could put a smile on their face. My lady for being there with me for 2 of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. When it came to court and losing my grandpa, Caitlin has been there, man. That's my fucking lady. That is my rock, bro. And it feels good. Because like I can trust that if I fall, it's not gonna be this jagged fucking pointy weapon. No, man, it's a safe landing. It's a good, comfortable rock to lean on, and I feel really lucky to have that shit. Even my son, when I was in Florida, I was texting him and calling him every day, and he'd always ask me, "You okay, Dad? Like, what do you need?" My son was being super mindful. And when I came home, he gave me the biggest fucking hug, bro. And I melted, man. I melted in my son's arms. And it was cool because it's like, yo, kids, you have no idea how good your hugs feel. Like, I'm falling apart here. And you just scooped me up, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels good, man, to have good people. And I feel like being a good person is how you attract that. I've always been trying to be a good person. And I am surrounded by great people, man. So it's like, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Like, for real.
We love you too, Heck, man.
This shit is it's an experience, too, for real. It's a real experience.
Oh, the battery died, Sean. Oh, stop. What's wrong with you, man? Stop. Yo, hey.
Oh.
Get out of here, dude.
he rough like that.
Yeah,
that's probably my fault. Him. That's probably my fault. I'll be wrestling with him all the time, man. I'll be letting him get his blows there, man. God forbid when he gets strong, he's still doing that, man. He gonna knock my old ass right over, right?
I don't know why. It just reminded me of the Jackass movie. Remember, Bam used to be messing with his dad all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like one time he was like sitting on the toilet or whatever. He ran and then just attacked his dad. He's like, "Come on, man, what are you doing? What's wrong with you?" Yeah, that's what that just reminded me of. I was not expecting him to do that just now.
Keyshawn is a little unpredictable sometimes, man.
Cool, man.
B, I feel like you ain't get to chat much, man, but I want to say one more thing, right? You know what, Heck? I've always been somebody who avoided death. I guess that's the best way to put it. I used to avoid it, bro. If we wasn't that close, and like I could avoid going to your funeral, it wasn't even really so much about the funeral. I would have loved to say goodbye. It'd be like the energy of everybody around me, the sadness. Like that was the thing I feared. You know what I mean? That was the thing I strayed away from. I didn't want to feel people's sadness. I didn't want to be part of it. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know what to say. I used to feel like one of the things I used to always think about was like, yo, if I lost somebody close to me, this was my personal thing. If I lost somebody close to me, I don't want 100 people saying, yo, my condolences. I don't want it. I don't want it. Like, that's not what I want. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, because I know I didn't want it, that's not what I wanted to be outputting. Because I know that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to be outputting. So, like, I didn't know what to say. But it was only after my uncle passing that I've gotten stronger. You know what I mean? And now it's like, yo, I'm willing to embrace somebody going through. I'm willing to be there. You know what I'm saying? And be an ear, be a shoulder, a hug, a conversation, whatever. You know what I mean? Because now I truly understand what it means to like lose somebody close to you, man. But I also I understand the circle of life. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You know, I know like my uncle's death was untimely and unexpected. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't time that got him. It wasn't the sickness that got him. You know what I'm saying? But even with that, I had to learn. And you know what? Heck, I actually been dancing with death since then too. Because my lady's grandmother passed. That was a figure in her life. That was her figure. That was like we was at her house every week. When my lady was there, I was over there. You know what I'm saying? And you know what, Hector? I got to be part of the funeral, and I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Her grandmother loved me from day one. She accepted me from day one, bro.
I love
you know what I mean? Like I was her grandchild. So, like when it was time to go bury her, they asked me, like, "Hey, Frank, do you want to help carry?" Hell yeah, I'm all over it. Yep. I'm all over it. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy. I ended up being happy because I got to do that. I'm getting the chills. My hairs are standing up. But I was happy to do that, man. B, man, what you?
I like that.
What you got, B? You've been quiet all day, man. You've been quiet on the topic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say Uncle Fabi passing for me too would be like the first example of someone like really close, passing away, and that happened with 2020. So I was fortunate enough to reach like adulthood without experiencing, so many like significant losses. But when it came time to actually go see the funeral and see everyone there and just be in the moment, I took it upon myself to give a eulogy. I don't consider myself like a public speaker, but I felt that it was important. Like it was necessary for me to get up there and share my thoughts and feelings and about how, Uncle Fabi impacted all of us that was there, and how his energy transferred on to his children, to his nieces and nephews, his siblings, and I was able to feel that, like, while we were all there, even though it was a somber experience, like, there was something, beautiful about it at the same time, that he was able to bring all these people together. Even there were a few people that I didn't even know, but, he touched them in a way that, it brought them there, and they got to share their experience with him, their experiences with him, with us. So, that's something that was special to me. So, I am glad that I was able to get up there and share. I felt like I would have regretted it if I didn't. So
Yep.
like that, that's something that was, big for me. And then like, the following year, our cousin passed. And, that also like hit home, he's younger than us. We watched him grow, you know? So that's something that, weighed heavily on my heart. So like, just like the past few years, it just, it seems surreal in a way. Like, I never experienced, that much change and that much loss, and I felt especially bad for my aunt at the time, because, she lost her brother and they were like this. They were tight. Uncle Fabian, Auntie Miriam, and then she lost her youngest son like the following year. So, I felt like, if anyone was like experiencing some deep loss, it was her. So like, I felt like doubly sad, I felt pain because that's my cousin. I love him, and I got to see him grow. I saw his life changing, and then like that got taken away like suddenly. And then, I had to see the pain that it brought her, and that made me feel like that much worse, So like it's definitely a something that everyone has to experience, everyone has to go through. It's never easy, but like the best thing that we can do is to live on and carry their memory with us, and
Yep.
to be an example for other people. Don't let their memory pass. Things that they taught us. Even like it could be like a quote, or something that they used to say that stays with you, that you can carry on, and you pass it along to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
It's just do something that that would make them proud. Like my uncle, it's like Frankie said, like he would never leave you without letting you know that he loves you. And
Can't hear you, Frank. Yeah, no, oh man, it's tough because I got memories of Fabian, and I got plenty of memories of Laquan, and I grew up in y'all house, man. I was there for a lot of it. And one of my fondest memories, with Fabian and with y'all dad, I would come in and they'd be like, they mess with me, like, who you do? What are you doing here? Who are you? Like, mess with me. I come here every day. Y'all know who I am. And they'd always make sure I'm chilling and I'm good for it. And then, it was funny, man. I loved it because like it was the check-in. I had to check in. You know what I'm saying? I'm here now. And they and then with Laquan, shit, we had the hundreds of sleepovers, all of us, BJ, Laquan, Dexter, you got like, Joey, all of us, everybody. I knew all the family, man. I was in there. And yeah, man, like that shit sucks when it's that close to home. It's hard, but I agree. You got to carry that energy, that good energy forward, because that's what's important, man. I made the mistake of letting Kate talk me into watching the movie Coco this past weekend, bro. Woo! I was in fucking tears.
What is that? I don't know what Coco is.
You Frank, you don't know what Coco? Oh,
yeah, an old movie or a new movie?
No, that's an old one. Go watch that.
All right.
I can't hear you now, Brian.
I thought I put Brian on mute because of the noise. My fault. I just think you off me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's been out for some years now. Yeah, Coco, that's definitely that was a good one. Like,
that shit,
you might share.
That shit punched me in my heart, bro. I was ugly crying, bro. I'm a grown ass man. I was ugly crying, bro. Like, woo, that shit hit me hard, dude. But you know what? Yeah, it's about the message, man. It's let them live on through what you remember, how you felt. That's what's important. And my grandpa, man, he was a stubborn fucking guy, let me tell you. And anytime he'd see me tearing up, he'd be like, "Don't cry for me. Don't cry. What are you doing? Why are you crying?" And you know what? Like, you know what, Grandpa? I'm gonna allow myself to feel this shit, man. I'm shedding tears for you, Grandpa, because I love and I miss you. But you know what, man? Some of the sharpest weapons in the world were created by a wet stone. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all say have that one, man. Just feel it. When something is hurting, feel it all the way through, man. Because that's the best thing you can do for the kids that are watching you. You know, it's important for them to see you be strong. And there's a lot of strength in vulnerability. I do believe in that.
Yeah. You know what, heck, man? I feel like, I personally feel like whenever Brian gets to speak his feelings and how he feel, like, Brian makes me more powerful. Yo, heck,
I like that.
I'll tell you, when Uncle Fabi passed, bro, I wanted to, I felt like I had to say something. It was the same thing. I felt like I had to say, this was going to be the last opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But I got up there and I could barely get my words out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I got them out, but I could barely. Then Brian came up behind me, and this man, Brian was in tears prior to. But by the time he got up there, he fixed himself up. He got out everything he wanted to say. Bam, bam, bam. You would have thought he wrote it down, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Brian made me stronger. Brian's absolutely right. There was a lot of beauty in it. It's not something I was thinking about prior to Brian saying it, but yo, I got to hear what other people felt about my uncle, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, you know what that was, Hector? Now, these are strangers now. But that was confirmation that the energy I felt from my uncle, the love I felt from my uncle, and who I thought he was the fact. That's who he really was. There was people speaking that truth there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
nothing more reassuring, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man.
That perspective, man. When you get perspective from someone else's shoes, and that helps confirm the person you know, you love, and trust, man, that feels good, man. Because, like, this man was walking in his purpose. This is what he has always been, you know? And that shit feels good to know that. Like, other people got to feel that shit, too. I agree with that, man.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it was a lot. You know what? And then with Auntie Miriam, it was the same thing. When my little cousin Laquan passed, it was like, I don't even know if I want to face my auntie, bro. And that was after my uncle. After I felt like I got stronger, but I just know my aunt, she don't take things easy. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was gonna be her. I knew it was gonna be my cousin BJ. Like BJ, I knew it was gonna be because, like, how I tell you, Uncle Fabi was close with Brian, and we seen him he was a everyday figure in our life. BJ and Laquan was like this. Only time they wasn't like this. Only time they wasn't like this is when one of them was locked up, or the other one. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, one of them was in trouble. The other one was in trouble too, bro. One of them good, the other one good too.
So they were like a tag team.
Yeah.
They had that love and marriage energy, like without being married. You know what I'm saying? Can't have one without the other.
Mm-hmm. I remember lots of good times with them, man, back when we was growing up, man. And they were, I don't think I've ever seen BJ without Laquan or the other way around. Like, they were always together. Anything, anywhere, always. I love that, man. You know, that brotherly love, man. That's a gift, man. That's a real gift to have something like that.
Yeah.
So,
you know what, man? If I could have been brave then when my cousin passed, or at any point, man, the one thing I probably would have said to BJ is, yo, let him live on through you, bro. That's what I would have told him, like, yo, let him live on through you, man. You know his energy best. You know his energy better than anybody. You know his intent. When you can tell somebody's intention, when you can tell, like, what they about to do, when you could, you know, when people be saying the same thing at the same time, like,
finishing sentences and shit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? To me, BJ gotta be the one. You know what I'm saying? Because you know him the best.
Yeah.
You know him the best. So you know how, if there was a quote Laquan used to say all the time, then it's on you to show it and pass it on to your kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's how that sticks around, yo. That's exactly how that sticks around, man. Man, I'm about to come up with my own. I'm gonna have my own damn quote, man.
Yeah, listen,
man.
We gotta
all the damn time.
Right?
That's right. Start saying something all the damn time. I need to figure out which one it is. Gonna be, man.
So, just considering the episode today, man. I didn't feel like I wanted to do a mid-journey, but I just wanted to share the last photo I got to take with my grandpa. You know, this shit was choking me up earlier when I was looking at it, man. But I'm happy that I got to take it because my grandma and my granddad, they took care of me, man. They were there through it all. They got to watch me blossom. They got to watch me wither and rebloom again. And they always were supportive, man. Just always, there. So I really feel for my grandma. And this, her pain is what hurts a lot. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to just share the last photo I got to take with my grandpa before it turned for the worse. And, I'm really happy and lucky and blessed that I even got to have this photo opportunity with him, because it turned around pretty quick, unfortunately. But, we managed to get a little smile out of him before the very end. And my grandma, man, she's just so beautiful, man. I love her, man. She is just the best.
Ain't nothing changed but the gray hair, bro. She look exactly hey, man.
Exactly.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, actually look really good on her too.
Yeah, no, she owns that shit. Yeah, she owns it. So yeah, this was the day that I got to come into Florida. This was that very same day. And
still look like a strong man. He being able to get up there and crack a smile, man. He's still like a strong man coming into it, going into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's my guy right there, man. That's been my mentor, man. It's been everything. That's the man that raised me, y'all. So I'm sad. I miss him with all my heart. But yeah, he's gonna live on, through me, through the memories. I'm gonna make sure I keep sharing. And over time, I know this is gonna get easier. I'm gonna be able to do more of this without the tears and shit. But like I said, I'm gonna allow myself to feel it, because I love that man right there. I do miss him. And I'm really happy that I had the experiences in this life that I got to have, that he was able to give me, So, and I'm really happy that you guys got to meet him too. That Caitlin got to meet him, my son, all the people that are important to me have had a chance to have a conversation and talk to this guy, and that shit is everything to me. So, yeah man.
Hey, so to Anna and Anna, both of you, grandma and mom, I love you guys. Now I thank you guys. I thank your grandmother too, man. You know what I mean? She always took us in, even where now her Spanish was real small. Like, I mean, her English was real small, but that didn't stop her from taking care of us, bro. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
All you gotta put the food in front of us, eat.
That was it.
Drink.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hungry, you thirsty. Yep.
And yeah, so Anna, Jose will be missed. I viewed him as a grandfather too. Myself, Hector did inform me that of his wishes, so I know I'm not gonna get to say this at a funeral. So I want to say it now. You know what I mean? He was your father. Your husband was very loved, like a grandfather. He was like a grandfather to me, and I want you guys to just stay strong through these times. I know it's tough. You know what I mean? I know loss is tough, but I love you guys, and stay strong. Just stay strong. And I'm hoping to get down to I'm hoping to get down there myself, man. This Saturday, I gotta figure it out quick, fast, man.
Likewise, man. I wish I could be there to to make it to the celebration, because Jose, he was a grandfather to us. We didn't have any grandfather in close proximity, so he was gracious enough to let us into his home and make us feel welcome and spend the time with his grandson. I'm pretty sure there were days where he probably felt like, I just want the family time, but he didn't let that deter us or deter you from having us there, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that he allowed for us to come in and feel welcome, to even have sleepovers or have you come over to us, so that's something that that's going to stay with me, something that I will always appreciate, because I know he was a good man. He raised a good man. I see it in you, Hector. So,
Thank you.
he did an amazing job as a grandfather, as a father figure as well. He raised you, right? So, and just, he was a leader by example. He was, he was always, busy doing something, making sure the home is good, making sure his wife is good, making sure his grandson's good, making sure everything's all right. So, definitely a great example of what a man should be, and, um, we're lucky to have seen that from such an early age and, get to grow up together and, he be that model of consistency. So, definitely appreciate him, love your mom, love your grandma. Well, the whole family really, Owen. Wish I could be there to embrace everyone, on Saturday.
Yeah. It yeah, I love you guys, man. I appreciate that. And I know he appreciates hearing that too, man, because his legacy is family and friends, and good energy. And that is certainly alive and well and will be for generations to come, for sure. Anyone he's ever talked to or had just a meager conversation with has felt, like you said, Frank, his impact, and this is the year of impact. And so, I have been impacted in many ways, and I intend to make sure my grandfather's memory is alive and well however I can, whether it be intimately with my son and my lady and my daughter, with my friends, with family. Yeah, he will live on for sure. For sure.
All right, man. With that, man, you got the energy to close this out, Heck, man?
I got it, man.
I can handle it tonight, man.
I love everybody that manages to come through and watch and support us. Like Frankie said, we're on plenty of social media outlets, Piece of Your Mind podcast. Come check us out. And if you're going through something hard, man, just keep going. Just keep going, because you have overcome all your hardest days and you're still here. So keep going. Give the flowers to your elders, love them, appreciate them, and tell them that while you can, right here, right now. Because that there's no time like right now. This is it.
Time.
So with that said, for all of y'all that came through and let us borrow some time, we'll see you next week on Piece of Your Mind. So much love.
One love.